Dala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam. Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sava Mangaram. Jaya Jaya Jala Rasa Sava Rasa Sa. Taraki Abhave Jaha Prajite Prachar. Shri Janava Pada Padma Kori Asmarana. Dina Krishna Dasa Kohe Nam Sankirtan. Jaya Rama Ghat Jaya Rohini Nandan. Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basirat Jan. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Alright, one more kirtan and then Sri Lekha Devidasi is going to give us the class on Balaram, something about Balaram. Saraswati Devidasi's grandson. No, not his grandson. Balaram, Krishna's brother. Okay. And one more bhajan is going to be? One more bhajan is going to be? Yes, yes, so Nityananda, Ochin Horror Show, good to do. Look, she's good Mridanga player. She's Bengali style Mridanga player.
She just gave me the Mridanga again. I'm not a real trainer.
Wonderful.
The Bengali style, it's a kind of, you catch it rather than learn a beat. It's like talking drums. It's like talking drums. The Colombian, the South American blood has got talking drums in the DNA.
You play, he likes it.
Okay, what are we singing?
Maybe 121. 121.
I don't know what's 121. Code word for.
Nadia Godrume.
Oh yes, Nadia Godrume.
121.
Oh, you singing?
Yeah, I love these pages. They're so hard to turn.
Do you remember Dakuram, Anjali?
Sorry?
Do you remember Dakuram in Govardhan, the old man?
Yeah. Yes, yep.
He very traditional. When I put the Bengali songbook on here and made it big, Dakuram was so happy. Before that, he's following. Then when I put on here, so you can follow Dakurams and get yourself just a regular tablet.
Okay, I'm there already.
Well, you're not a Dakuram. No, you're not. I am there already.
You're always there.
That's why I make it big on the thing.
I'm moving her to that place because we are broadcasting.
Yes, come and sit here, please. Okay, Nadia Godrume, Nityananda Mahajan. Short, sweet, beautiful, complete. Short, sweet, beautiful and complete. Nadia Godrume, Nityananda Mahajan. So, but who's going to sing? Can you sing? Would you like to sing? Okay, Jadu Gopal Prabhu is going to sing for us. Just arrived from Ireland in case you haven't yet met, and you'll meet everybody one by one by one. He just dropped out of the sky.
121.
Nadia Godrume Nityananda Mahajana Patyache Namahata Jiverakara Shadavan John Hai Shadavan John Hai Prabhu Ragyai Bhai Magiye Bhiksha Prabhu Ragyai Bhai Magiye Bhiksha Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha Aparad Shunya Hoye Loha Krishna Nama Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Prana Krishna Rasangsara Kori Charya Nachara Jive Roya Krishna Nama Savadharma Sara Shadavan John Hai Shadavan John Hai Tatya Godrumi Nityananda Mahajana Tatya Chinamahak Jiverakara Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Right. In the land of Nadir, on the island of Godruma, the magnanimous Lord Nityananda has opened up the marketplace of the holy name, meant for the deliverance of all fallen souls. O people of faith, O people of faith, by the order of Lord Gauranga, O brothers, I beg these three requests of you. Chant Krishna, worship Krishna, and teach others about Krishna. Being careful to remain free of offenses. Just take the holy name of Lord Krishna. Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, and Krishna is the treasure of your life. Giving up all sinful activities, carry on your worldly duties only in relation to Lord Krishna. The showing of compassion to other souls by loudly chanting the holy name of Krishna is the essence of all forms of religion. Sri Lekha Devidasi is now about to give some reflection about Balaram. Jai, yes indeed, Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that's from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yes, come and sit in front of her. All devotees like to sit around the wall. Devananda Prabhu is going to put roses all around the side with big thorns.
That's so sweet.
I need to get my notebook.
Incredible.
And today, Mahaprabhu is wearing blue.
And the backdrop is blue.
And Giriraj is dressed in blue.
Oh, very much blue. Very sweet. Very large. Beautiful.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj,
Hare Krishna. This is her halo. She can have a garland halo.
It's hanging on my
There we are.
Oh, look at you.
Princess. Princess.
From Giridhari. From Giridhari.
Very happy. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Oh.
There's so many things to say about Lord Balaram because he has so many manifestations. And we're told, like we heard this morning, Srila Gurudev was saying how strong Lord Baladev is, very powerful. But sometimes it's hard for us to conceive of that kind of strength Because in his expansion of an expansion of an expansion of an expansion, Lord Anantadev is holding all the planets on one of his hoods, and he doesn't even know which one it is.
He's got so many. Doesn't even feel it.
Yeah. And as Mahavishnu, he's sleeping, and when he breathes out, all the universes are manifest, and when he breathes in, they're all unmanifest. So we can't really conceive of this kind of strength. Sometimes we think, oh, the demigods are very powerful, or Lord Brahma is very powerful, but these expansions of Lord Balaram are, he's the supreme all power, and all other power is invested in anyone else by him. So he's a great devotee of Krishna. He's expanded from Krishna, but not in time, but in position. And he is always thinking of Krishna. And he has his own girlfriends in Vrindavan, as we heard this morning. But even when he's dancing with his own girlfriends, he's only thinking of the service of Krishna. And so he's this original guru. And we are all trying to learn this. We're trying to learn that everything that we're doing is for the Lord, and not that we do all these things for the Lord and this stuff here, this is all the Maya stuff. We don't do that for the Lord. But actually we're trying to come in connection and in devotion with the wave of supreme will, which is actually reality. When we don't see Krishna's will everywhere, that's called Maya. And the reason it's called Maya is because it's not true. Krishna's will is what's true. And when we see it any other way, that's called not true. So we're trying to, in chanting the holy name, clearing the heart of so many levels of karma and gyan. Like, it's not just one thing. Well, no, I'm not into karma and I'm not into gyan. There are so many levels, so many layers of us, over us. And the holy name is coming to clear those things, and also in our practice of Sharanagati. But Lord Balaram, he's the original spiritual master, and he is coming to bring others to the service of the Lord. But he has many wonderful pastimes, both, in Vrindavan. But one of the pastimes I really thought of this morning was in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Krishna's in Dwarka, actually. And Narada Muni is coming to visit him in Dwarka. And he's coming down the path. He has entrance into the private quarters of the Lord. So he's coming down the path and he's fainting and he's calling out and screaming the name of Krishna and then fainting and just kind of making his way over there. But when he arrives, the queens are assembled and they're all very worried. What's happening with Krishna? He's not even up. He's still in bed. And all night long he's calling out the names of cows and gopis and his mother and father, and he just doesn't want to get up. And all of the yadus are assembled in the Suvarna assembly hall, and they're all looking at the door, waiting for Krishna, and he's not out of bed. And so he's missing, feeling separation from Vrindavan. And they're thinking, what to do? What are we going to do? How do we get him to get up, gently and in a happy way? And so Lord Brahma comes up. Lord Brahma is also there. What's going on? And Lord Brahma comes up with a plan that why don't we make a second Vrindavan, or a replica of Vrindavan.
Right. That is amazing, right? We should pick up the book now and then not put it down until we finish this Leela. It goes on a long time.
Yeah, it is such a nice relationship there shown of Lord Balaram also with Krishna. So so they're thinking what to do, and then Lord Brahma says, okay, we're going to bring Vishwakarma, who's the architect of heaven, and we're going to just make a replica of Vrindavan. To every piece of grass, a full replica. So Vishwakarma is, doing his mystic thing. And this is including the inhabitants of Vrindavan, standing on the roadside, or, there. So, and then they dress Krishna in his cowherd dress and transport him into his bed in the house of Nanda Maharaj. And he's lying there, sleeping with his, And then Lord Balaram dresses up as a cowherd boy. And this is all to bring Krishna up, wake him up happily. So then everything's all set up, and the queens are kind of watching. The queens of Dwarka, they're all kind of from a distance. They're getting a peek into Vrindavan and this type of Leela. And Krishna's sleeping, and Lord Balaram's like, Krishna, Krishna. He's tapping him. Then he's kissing him, kissing him. Come on, wake up. And then finally just pulls him out of bed onto the floor. And Krishna wakes up. And there's Nanda Maharaj standing there. And Mother Yashoda's standing there, replica. And he looks over and he's like, Balaram's like, all the cowherd boys have already left without you. What are you doing? Staying in bed. It's already sunrise and you're still sleeping. And he sees Nanda Maharaj and he's feeling very shy. He didn't do his duty. And Lord Balaram's little, the big brother. What are you going to do with you? And then, so Krishna gets up and then he sees Mother Yashoda and his, stomach is rumbling. I'm hungry. And Rohini...
She already figured it out.
Yeah, she had already arranged that, the breakfast would be ready, and then she brings it in. Rohini's visiting Dwarka at the time, and she brings it in. Krishna's eating very happily. And then he gets ready and marches out to go find the cowherd boys, and they're marching down the road with Balaram. And then he sees... Srimati Radharani standing there and some gopi friends and he looks around here and there, see if anybody's watching. He gives her a little kiss. She's not moving, but he's used to that. He's used to people being stunned when they see him, just like a statue. And he's walking along, and Lord Balaram's walking along with him, and they're talking and laughing and And then suddenly they come to the shore of the ocean. And in the distance are the spires and domes of Dwarka. And Krishna says, What? What is this? And Lord Balaram says, well, you came here to establish the principles of religion, because this is, in Dwarka, and to, destroy the miscreants. Now, there are still some miscreants that you haven't destroyed yet. So we're still here in Dwarka. And Krishna's like a little, oh. And then Balaram says, but I can help you. I'll help you destroy those miscreants. And then that inspiration of Dwarka Krishna comes into Krishna again. And he goes, I don't need any help. I can destroy them all by myself. And then they march back into Dwarka, and he's ready for his Dwarka Leela again.
I was going to find this in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, but actually what you got from Sri Lekha is a very living recitation, living repetition or retelling of the story. So no need for me to find it.
No.
But what I can say is, if you read this Brihad Bhagavatamrita, please read the version, because there are different versions of all sorts of things. This version by Gopi Paranadana Prabhu, and he is certified as like a genuinely with all his heart doing, not for himself. He's now passed away from this world, but he's done it very carefully, and we know the devotees who know him, and that he's a Srila Prabhupada's disciple, and out of so many, he was like very
sober
special.
person.
Very sober. You knew him personally?
Yeah.
You knew him personally too?
Yeah.
And the thing is that it's not only the verses. The verses are collected by Sanatana Goswami. He's collected all this from the ether. He's like a good radio. He's the radio, the receiver. He's brought it together. But also, Sanatana Goswami has given the purports, the commentaries.
Yeah.
So you're reading the verses, which he's, with his pen, he's given the verses. And then he's giving the commentary of why he used this word, why he would use this word, and how is it that Mother Jashoda, and what the pose was of Mother Jashoda, and what the pose was of the cowherd boys, and all these things. And the commentary, you definitely need to read the commentary, because it just adds so much to what's taking place there. If you just read the translations, you would think, okay, it's a wonderful story. I mean, wonderful Leela, wonderful pastimes. But the commentary just puts so much more life into the whole Leela's explanation. Anyway, I was going to find it and think, oh, we'll read it, but not necessary. Here we have.
We're talking about
We are indeed.
Just make sure.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful. We read it every morning on. We read it on Sundays, our little Sunday treat in Salt Lake City. We read a bit of Brihad Bhagavatam coming through, and this Leela is particularly. It's a wonderful peek into Vrindavan from the perspective of Dwarka, because you know how Krishna's. Anyway, there's so many things to say, but Lord Balaram's always assisting Krishna, so he's assisting him in Dwarka Leela at this time. But in Vrindavan, he's assisting Krishna. Sometimes in the mood of an opponent. In Vrindavan, opponent means he doesn't like to lose, and Krishna said he's a bad loser. So whenever they're playing a game and the cowherd boys are playing, he's. If he loses, he's not happy at all, and he doesn't take it very well. But one time, and I bet you know, which story do you like to hear a particular story about Vrindavan? Do you like the story of Dhenukasura?
Who are you asking? Chaitanya Priya?
I am. Do you know the story of Dhenukasura, Chaitanya Priya? Anyway, we'll tell that one. Do you like? We can tell that one. So
I like the story.
I do. So Dhenukasura was one of the servants of Kamsa, and Kamsa. Well, we think of Kamsa, this king. He has a mustache and all that. But he, and he's got the crown, and but he was the leader of amazingly powerful demons, and they were all like nervous around him. He was very powerful. He was and they would all be like thrilled to death if he would ask them to do something. So he asked Putana to kill Krishna, and she was just, wow, I finally made it to the big time, So he was very powerful, and so Dhenukasura was one of his friends, and they were all shapeshifters. And shapeshifting is a mystical thing. So they could make anyone see them any way that they wanted them to see them. So so Dhenukasura decided to become a big donkey. We don't know why. But he liked that form. And all of his friends became donkeys.
Who decided to become donkey?
Dhenukasura.
Okay.
So they were in the Talavan forest because Kamsa didn't want anybody to have that. Kamsa figured, that's my forest. Well, he figures everything's his, right? Like a child. As soon as he sees something he likes, he thinks, oh, that's mine. Well, how about that, right? And so Kamsa was like this. So he liked the Talavan forest because it was full of tal fruit, and which could be made into a liquor, a very nice tasting liquor.
Are you asking me? I didn't know, but why not?
Yeah. So the Talavan forest was being guarded by Dhenukasura and his friends. And they were so mean that even the birds flew away. All the animals left the forest. It was just empty. Just Dhenukasura and his friends and the tall trees. But the tall fruit is very fragrant. So the cowherd boys one day said, "Oh, Balaram, your arms are so powerful. And Krishna, you're expert at killing the demons. And do you smell that fragrance coming from the Talavan? Isn't it wonderful? We would really like to give you some of this fruit. But all the birds and the animals have flown away from that forest because of the Dhenukasura. So why don't we just go there? Let's just go." And Balaram and Krishna said, "Yeah, let's just go." So they're off to the forest. And then Lord Balaram, when they enter the forest, it's just quiet. There's nobody there except them, and they're all snoring, sleeping in the afternoon. And come on in. You want
Come
to
and hear a story.
You want to hear the story?
Come and sit down. Listen to the story. Okay, put another one here, darling.
Here you go. This is for you, Vinodini.
Come here, come. Do you want to look? I move up. Do you want to sit with your friend?
So
You have a stack of mats. Please put out the mats.
Sure.
People can sit down.
There you are, darling. Sit down.
Don't be stuck in the corner here.
It's just, I probably have to run up and down.
So Lord Balaram, being, who he is, he goes up to the biggest tree he could find and starts shaking it. And all the fruits start falling. Boom, 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 boom. And Dhenukasura's like, "I think somebody's in my forest. I don't like that. Who is that?" He stands up. Smoke coming out of his nose. He goes, and all of his friends wake up and they come.
He's a donkey.
They're big donkey demons. And Lord Balaram's standing there. "Yep, that was me." And so Dhenukasura comes and he says, "I'm going to teach this little guy a lesson." And he turns around and he starts kicking Lord Balaram on the chest with his big hooves. His hooves were as big as this room. He was huge and horrifying, so scary. And he starts to kick Lord Balaram with his rear hooves. And Lord Balaram didn't mind at first, but then it started to annoy him. And he picks up the hoof of Dhenukasura and he started wheeling him around like this. Woo! Super fast. Dhenukasura died. And he threw him up into the palm trees. And the palm trees all bent over like this. And then all the friends of Dhenukasura started coming. "Oh yeah, we're going to take care of this guy. He killed our leader." And then Krishna comes in and they're wheeling all of them around like a game and throwing them all up into the trees, into the palm trees, and they're all just hanging there like this. And it looked like different colors of clouds were assembled in the tops of the trees. So it looked actually very, very beautiful. And then the cowherd boys were like, slapping Lord Balaram on the back. "Well done! Yeah, that was great!" And all the demigods are showering flowers, and the music went on for hours. The chanting of Lord Balaram's name. And then they collected so much tall fruit and brought them home and presented them in front of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. And they were all very pleased, and the birds were very happy, and the animals returned. And Kamsa was extremely annoyed. And to be continued. We could tell more stories, but maybe it's getting late.
It's not getting late. The offering is going to come at some point.
Any favorite stories of Lord Balaram? Well, anyway, we're really small and we're trying to praise the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in Vrindavan, the pastimes are beyond Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, everyone knows that Lord Narayan, who is an expansion of Balaram, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they're worshipping him. They're worshipping him, and in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita it's described that the devotees of all these different incarnations of the Lord and of Lord Narayan, they all take forms that look like those incarnations. Some look like Nrsingadev, some look like, and they're all the devotees in Vaikuntha are inconceivable. They're all extraordinary. They're doing all these extraordinary things all the time in the service of the Supreme Lord. But a Prakriti Lila is past that. It's who Krishna is at home. You know, somebody might be a king, but when he's at home with his family, he's just with his family. He's just a man with his wife and his family. And that's where he's feeling very peaceful. And so Krishna at home is in Vrindavan. And Lord Balaram also, when he's at home, he's a cowherd boy. He's the leader of the cowherd boys. And sometimes we think of the cowherd boys of these little boys, you know, they're just... But they're all super powerful also. You know, we can see from the followers of Nityananda Prabhu, like Meena Ketan or Ram Das and all the, you know, they have their big whips, you know, and they're playing with cobras, and, you know, they're all really far out personalities, you know. And so they, you know, Lord Balaram is there playing as the leader of the cowherd boys. And then they have so many games, and as I said, you know, as we mentioned before, Gurudev likes this quality, Lord Balaram. He doesn't really like to lose. And so, you know, they have these fights, and then Balaram gets really angry if he doesn't win. But, yeah, there's so many things, and other pastimes of Lord Balaram that are in Mathura and in Dwarka. But one time, when Balaram was enjoying with his girlfriends, he wanted the Jamuna to come nearby him. And she didn't listen to him. She didn't pay any attention to him. And so he took his plowshare and he just carved up the earth and made tiny, tiny little rivulets out of the Jamuna River. And then she came before him very faithfully. Oh, my Lord, I was not paying attention and I didn't come. Please forgive me. And then in Dwarka, one of our favorite pastimes, we did a play of this pastime before, and Veera was in this play when he was a young man, and Lord Balaram was the Kuru dynasty. The leaders of the Kuru dynasty decided to come and make some trouble in Dwarka, because Lord Balaram had taken away one of their girls. Not for him. So what happened was, Aniruddha was stolen away by Chitralekha. Chitralekha was a mystic, and she stole Aniruddha from his bed. And oh no, that's the story of Banasura. Sorry, I got mixed up. What was it that was happening? Why were they coming there? I'm sorry, I've forgotten now.
I got some idea, but
I forgot what was happening.
Yeah, I think it was Samba wanted to marry.
It was Samba. That was right. Samba wanted to marry Lakshmana. And so then what happened? They stole Lakshmana.
Yeah.
He stole Lakshmana away.
Yeah, I think it was something like, I think
But
he was trying to marry her, but they said they weren't really happy with that.
Yeah.
So he stole her away.
he took her away. So she was supposed to choose her own husband. Before she got a chance, he just grabbed her and took her away. Samba, who's the son of Krishna. And then, so that was a big insult to all the kings there because everybody was assembled, and he just took her and left. And then, so the Kuru dynasty, to keep their prestige, came marching to Dwarka. And Lord Balaram was there, and they insulted him. They said, "Oh, you people, you Yadus, if it weren't for us, you wouldn't have anything. You've taken our insignia, you've taken our flag, even your pillows. You wouldn't have anything if it weren't for the Kurus." And this is Lord Balaram listening to this. And Krishna, what's he? He's nothing. We're the ones who are giving all the power to your whole family. And Lord Balaram's eyes became so red that no one could look at him. Because he was so angry. And then, he had come outside the city. That's what happened. He was in a small house outside of the city, and they came out to meet him. And then he was so angry that he took his plow and he dug a trench all the way around the capital city of the Kurus, and he was going to drag it into the Jamuna River and drown everybody. And they're all like, and the whole city's getting dragged by Lord Balaram. And they're all like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then they all come out, and they're like bowing down to Lord Balaram and giving him all kinds of honor and saying, "Oh, we were just kidding. We didn't mean anything by this. We were, we're family members. We were just joking." And Balaram's like, "Okay." So that's a famous pastime of Lord Balaram. So he can do whatever he wants. Lord Balaram all of his expansions are there.
Can you share the story where he either killed someone with a blade of grass?
Oh yeah, Vamashana Sutta.
Can you tell that one?
Oh yeah. So Lord Balaram didn't really want to participate in the battle of Kurukshetra. Because his student, he didn't want this. He just didn't like it, and he wasn't going to participate. Many, many reasons. But one of his students was Duryodhana, and he was very fond of Duryodhana. Hard to pigeonhole the personality of Godhead. So he said, I don't want anything to do with this. And he marched out, and he decided to go on pilgrimage. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is going on pilgrimage. And he comes to a place where all the sages are assembled. Well, all the sages are assembled. And this is a very famous place because this is the place where the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken the second time. Well, the third time, actually. So the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken, the 4 verses were given to Srila Vyasadeva. Then Vyasadeva spoke it to Sukadev. Sukadev spoke to King Parikshit. And in the audience was Sutta Goswami. And then Sutta Goswami went to Naimisharanya. So in Naimisharanya, before that happened, the sages were conducting a very big sacrifice. They were assembled to do something for the Kali Yuga, to do something to mitigate the problems of the Kali Yuga. Now we're only 5,000 years into Kali Yuga, and it's already about as bad as you want it to be. You right? I mean, things are very confusing. There's no central principle of truth by which everyone can guide their lives. Things are becoming very chaotic already, and this is even under the influence of the beginning of the influence of Mahaprabhu. So this is so they were trying to do something about the Kali Yuga, and the presiding person was Romaharshana Sutta. And Romaharshana Sutta was there presiding, and he was given that post by Vyasadeva, actually. And the reason was that
Done.
Romaharshana Sutta was a Shrutidar. That means he didn't forget anything. So Srila Vyasadeva appointed him to be the presiding person over this. So he could, like Srila Guru Maharaj said, he could vomit the scriptures very easily. He could just say whatever, he could remember everything. So he was presiding there. But he didn't recognize, when Lord Balaram came to that place, he didn't recognize him or give him any honor. He was sitting on the Vyasadeva presiding over all these great sages that had assembled from all over the universe. And when the personality of Godhead entered into the assembly, he didn't show any honor, get up, anything. So Lord Balaram just picked up a piece of kusha grass and that was the end of Romaharshana Sutta. So, and then all the sages like, oh, whoa, what? And Lord Balaram said, do you want me to bring him back to life? And they said, oh, no. What you have done is good, but we don't have anyone to preside. He said, oh, no worries. And then he said, just give me something I should do to atone for my sinful act of killing a Brahmin. And they said, well, there's this demon, Balvala, who keeps coming and ruining the sacrifice. He's passing stool and urine. We have to clear the whole thing off, clean everything, mantras and everything, start it over, and then he comes over again and desecrates everything. So could you do something? So then he said, I happen to be very fond of doing things like this. So Balvala comes over, and Lord Balaram just catches him with his plow, with his necklace, he just catches him and takes his club and just goes bonk. And that was the end of Balvala. And then he said, well, what else should I do? And they said, just go to all the places of pilgrimage. And, So Lord Balaram leaves. In the meantime, Sutta Goswami is listening to the recitation of the Bhagavatam by Sukadev Goswami on the banks of the Ganges. He's telling King Parikshit the Srimad Bhagavatam, which he heard from Srila Vyasadeva. And then Sutta Goswami, who is the son of Romaharshana Sutta, comes to that assembly in Naimisharanya, and he automatically is given the seat. Oh, and that was a benediction by Lord Balaram. He said, the son of Romaharshana Sutta, the son is the same as the father. So he can come and he will preside over this sacrifice and over these proceedings, and he will be given full power of the senses, longevity, memory, and everything. All qualifications will be there with him. And Sutta Goswami entered the assembly, and the head of the sages was Shonaka Rishi. And Shonaka says, we think we have met your grace by the will of Providence just to be the captain of the ship which desires to cross over the dangerous ocean of Kali. And Sutta Goswami repeated the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the wonderful thing, that whatever the Lord's doing is always wonderful. But this sacrifice turned into the hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a much greater sacrifice than what they had in mind to mitigate the Kali Yuga. And it is this Srimad Bhagavatam has arisen like the sun and to dispel the darkness of ignorance of the Kali Yuga. So Suta Goswami, by the arrangement of Lord Balaram, by the wonderful arrangement of Lord Balaram, it was Suta Goswami who presided over that sacrifice by the recitation of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Lord Balaram is the great well-wisher of everyone. And even though we are in the midst of Kali Yuga and feel the effects ourselves, even though we are under the great lotus feet and shelter of our Supreme Guru Varga, in the line of Srila Rupa Goswami and the mercy of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, still we can understand the influence of the Kali Yuga is there, but we understand also that our gurus and Lord Balaram in the form of Nityananda Prabhu are so, we really can't conceive of that kindness. And so we're told that we should develop humility, because without humility we cannot understand the necessity of mercy. And if we can't understand the necessity of mercy, we cannot understand the glorious quality of the Lord. We can't. We feel like we've got something, we're okay, we got this thing and that thing, and we're good at this and that, and we have some. But really, we are 100% fully dependent upon mercy. And that is the cozy position of the soul. Out here in the mean streets of exploitation, this is not our very happy place for us. And looking in the garbage pails of the sense objects, whatever. I don't know. Just like danger, the ego is always being crushed by something, and we feel like the environment is very unwholesome for us. But by a change of the angle of vision, we will see that it is fully wholesome. It is just that I'm trying to misuse that for myself. And therefore, I'm always in danger of this illusory idea of mine being broken. And so we feel some wrong in the environment, but there really isn't anything wrong. We are trying to develop a whole other relationship with the world. That I am the servant, that the will of the Lord is always flowing, that I'm not an exploiter, I'm not a Ravana coming to take Sita away. Ravana can't see Sita, actually, because he's trying to exploit her. So we're like little Ravanas trying to exploit the divine energy of the Lord. And so under the influence of the Maya consciousness. So we're trying to change that and develop humility and tolerance, seeing the Lord's will everywhere, and knowing that what comes to me is actually coming in a friendly mood to rectify what I broke. I created the necessity for my own rectification. And then when that comes, we think, oh, the material world. But it's not like that. Actually, everything is good. And it's coming to bring me under a proper consciousness. So this is our sadhana, and it's very difficult. There will be there'll be times when you really got to call up your friend and go, this and that, and they'll give some sympathy. Yeah, that's very difficult, but remember, the Lord's will is what is really happening. So bow down, and Gurudev says, smile, and see what the Lord has in mind. See how this is Guru Maharaj said, these present circumstances are the necessity for my progress at this moment. It's not inimical. And so we're trying to practice this sadhana of changing our own angle of vision and being Krishna conscious, meaning Krishna is the autocrat. He's the autocrat. Only our alignment with divine will is our problem. So, we are, remembering Lord Balaram today, and as we heard Srila Gurudev say this morning, he will be so pleased. We were trying to come as small children, as little, not as, showing our strength or anything. His strength is what we are seeking, that we will become honest, that we'll become really, if we want to have a home in the supreme home, we have to have that qualification of heart. And Guru Maharaj said, without humility, tolerance, giving honor, and not wanting honor, this is a process. This is not going to happen overnight. But we know our goal. We know our ideal. He said, without that, the holy name cannot live with you. That real name of Hare Krishna, that's not going to live with you. That the hominess of Vrindavan, that overflowing heart of service, of never even thinking of what I will get as a result, that heart must change a lot to be able to really chant the holy name of Krishna. And so we're trying to adjust our own self, not the outside. The outside is not a problem. The inside is the problem. Individual subjective progress is what we're trying to practice, and it's going to be, it's not easy. So many lifetimes we've been blaming the environment for everything that happens to us. Now we're going to change. And, like in the Alcoholics Anonymous, I had a friend who was telling us about this. He said, the first thing you have to admit is that you're an alcoholic. You can't go in there and go, well, I'm not actually an alcoholic. I'm just here with some friends. And first of all, we have to admit, the whole problem is with me. And that's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of challenges to that. I mean, if you're anything like me, and I hope you aren't, but I'm just saying, it's, but we just stay and keep trying, and sometimes the hardest things that we have to go through, we can't understand how it is so favorable for my existence. But after some time, we go, that was the best thing, that I couldn't have prescribed a better situation for myself. And then we can see, yes, the Lord's will is always good. There's never anything wrong. So we're trying to become Krishna conscious. But that's, and we need each other desperately for that process. Very difficult, especially our great friend and guardian, Srila Madhusudan Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. We need each other.
Yeah. Anybody else want to say something about Lord Balaram?
They may want to sing.
Aha. All right, okay. You've been waiting for the song. No,
I've been waiting for the song, or you've been waiting.
No, you have also, to say these words.
It's such a happy song. And the thing is, I don't know, because I can't see inside everybody's head, I don't know how much devotees look and sing and see and know what they're singing.
Yeah.
But these songs in Bengali, as we sing, there are more and more. We have the words, and then when we know what we're singing, it's a super happy song and like a unique song. Where else have you got the description of the distribution of food to the Lord? Him sitting down in rows, being served, then washing their hands afterwards in rows, and then this
going to sleep.
So, all the way, it's a wonderful song. But not only this song, like every kirtan we sing, we should try to have some feeling because if we only sing it, oh, it's a kirtan, or when's it going to end?
Yeah.
It's kind of a little sad. And when there's so much richness, and this is what we sing traditionally when the Lord is having his meal. And today is a special day, so they're offering some extras to Mahaprabhu, to Radha, Hari Dura. So today especially, I see Anjali's put on 2 more eyes so she can see the translation better.
I was just reading quickly.
Yes, good. And then when we become familiar, then when we sing, we can feel what's taking place, and it's very joyful.
Yeah, I like that. I'm sorry, Maharaj.
Yes, no.
Well, I was just thinking when the person is leading, then we can try to read the translation, and then of course we'll respond. But the translations are very important. I mean, for me, I like to know what I'm singing. I mean, with some sincerity, the meaning can be revealed, but still the translations have been given there to us. And
okay, it's not very long. Let's read the translation now, and then when you sing, because it's also wonderful, it's part of today. Just worship Sri Gaura Hari. Well, you can listen, or you can read if you like, but you can listen. Just worship Sri Gaura Hari, who is always affectionate toward his devotees. He is the same Supreme Godhead, Krishna, who sported in the cowherd pastures of Braja and stole the hearts of Nanda and Jashoda. Mother Jashoda calls to Krishna, "My dear Damodar, it is very late. Please come right now. Sit down in the dining hall and take your lunch." Then Nandara Nideshi Vaishe Giri Baradhari. On the direction of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, the holder of Govardhan Hill, sits down. And then all the cowherd boys, along with Krishna's elder brother, Sri Baladev, sit down in sari, in rows, to take their lunch. Shukta, Shakari, Baji, Nalita, Kushmanda. Now we're getting into the description of the preparations. So, Shukta, Shaka, Adi, Bhaji, Nalita, Kushmanda, Dalni, Dalna, Dugta, Tumbi, Dadi, Mochaganta. Then, if you want translations, but they're all kind of unique things. They are then served a feast of Shukta and various kinds of green leafy vegetables. Then nice fried things, and a salad made of the green leaves of the jute plant, believe it or not. I never would think to eat those leaves. They are also served pumpkin, baskets of fruit, small square cakes made of lentils, and cooked down milk. Then thick yogurt, squash cooked in milk, and vegetable preparations made from the flower of the banana tree. That's Mokshaganta. And anyway, okay, we'll translate it. We'll explain about the food stuff at another time.
that would be nice, Maharaj.
Then they receive fried squares of mung dal patties and urd dal patties, chapatis and rice and with ghee. Next, sweets made with milk, sugar and sesame. Everyone's been fasting all morning, they're getting ready. Then rice flour cakes, thick cooked down milk, cakes floating in milk, and sweet rice. Then kapura, amrita, kelli, ramba, kshira, sara. There is also sweet rice that tastes just like nectar due to its being mixed with camphor. There are bananas and cheese which is nectarian and delicious. They are also served 12 kinds of sour preparations made with tamarinds, limes, lemons, oranges and pomegranates. Did you prepare all these things? There are puris made with white flour and sugar, puris filled with cream, laddus and dal patties boiled in sugared rice. Krishna eagerly eats all of the food. In great ecstasy and joy, Krishna eats the rice curried vegetables, sweets and pastries cooked by Srimati Radharani. And Krishna's funny Brahmana friend Madhumango, who is very fond of laddus, gets them by hook or by crook. Eating the laddus, he shouts, Haribol, Haribol, and makes a funny sound by slapping his sides under his armpits with his hand. And then, beholding Radharani and her gopi friends out of the corners of his eyes, Krishna eats at the house of Mother Jashoda with great satisfaction. You see, I told you it's a very unique kirtan. Unique kirtan.
Yeah. Only Bhaktivinoda Thakur could give us this insight.
Right, and then now the lunch. After lunch, Krishna drinks rose-scented water. Then all of the boys, standing in lines, wash their hands. Sari, sari. Now you know what is sari, standing in lines. Wash their mouths, rather. Then, after all the cowherd boys wash their hands and mouths, hasta mukha prakasha prakashila jata sakagane anande vishrama kare Baladeva sane. Joyfully they take rest along with Baladeva. Then Jambula, Rasala, and Tambula. The two cowherd boys, Jambula and Rasala, then bring Krishna pan made with betel nuts, fancy spices, and kattachup, which I'm not sure what it is. After eating that pan, Sri Krishna Chandra then happily goes to sleep. Tahe ke Krishna Chandra sukhe nidra. Then Vishalaka Shikti Putra Chamara Dhulaya Apurva Shayaya Krishna Sukhe Nidra Jaya. While Krishna happily takes his rest on an excellent bedstead, his servant Vishalaka cools him with a fan of peacock feathers. But his Apurva Shayaya, like an amazing, very Jashramati Agya, the instruction of Jashramati. Pe received, Danishta Anito, then Danishta comes. And so Jashoda, Mother Jashoda's request, the Gopi Danishta brings remnants of food left on Krishna's plate to Srimati Radharani, who eats them with great delight. Lalita Devi and the other gopis then receive the remnants, and within their hearts they sing the glories of Radharani and Krishna with great joy. Thakur Bhaktivinoda, whose one and only joy is the pastimes of Lord Hari, sings this Bhoga Arati song. That's what we're singing. So now, with each verse, try to glance while the Bengali is being sung. Look and see. And you might be surprised how many words you fit in and say, oh, yes, now we're good. Bhaja bhakata vatsala Shri Gora Hari.
Bhaja bhakata vatsala Shri Gora Hari.
Shri Gora Hari Shohi Kosha Vihari.
Shri Gora Hari Shohi Kosha Vihari.
Nanda Yashomati Cheta Hari.
Nanda Yashomati Cheta Hari.
Hello, hello, Tamadara Aisha Ekano.
Hello, Damodara Aisha Ekano.
Oga Mangire Boshi Koro Ho Jana.
Oga Mangire Boshi Koro Ho Jana.
Nandara Nideshe Boshi Giri Varadhari. Baladeva Sahasaka Boshi Sari Sari. Sukta Shakari Bhashina Lekha Pushmanga. Vidari Mocha Ganga.
Dali Dali Mocha Vidari Mocha Ganga.
Buddha Bora, Masha Bora, Roti Kavitana.
Buddha Bora, Masha Bora, Roti Kavitana.
Kasuri Krishaka Ki Puli Payasana. Apuram Ita Kelly Ramba Kiratara.
Apuram Ita Kelly Ramba Kiratara.
Amrita Rasala Amladara Chapratara.
Amrita Rasala Amladara Chapratara.
Chini Sapuri Adura Kavali. Bhojana Korena Krishna Hoye Chituhari. Adhikara Bhaktana Vidya Vyanjana. Paramanande Krishna Korena Bhojana. Bale Bala Ladu Khai Shri Madhu Mangala. Bhagala Bhajaya Radeya Hari Bolo. Adhikari Gane Hari Nayane Rakone. Krishna Hoy Kai Krishna Yashoda Bhavani. Bhojanante Kiye Krishna Subhasita Bhari. Sabe Mukha Pakaloy Hoye Charitari. Hasta Mukha Pakaloy Jata Chakravani. Anande Vishama Kore Kaladeva Sani. Jambula Rasalani Kambula Masala. Ahame Krishna Chandra Suke Nidra. Vichalaka Shiti Putta Samara Julaya. Apurva Chayaya Krishna Suki Nidra. Jashomati Agya Pe Dhanishani So. Krishna Prasada Radha Bunde Hoye Dari Dari Sati Gana Vatisha Paya. Mane Mane Sukhe Radha Krishna Guna Gaya. Hari Leela Ekmatra Jahara Pramora. Rasi Jai Jabu Bhakti Vinora. Bhajan Govinda Govinda Gopala. Giri Hari Gopinath Nagarulala. Bhaja Govinda Govinda Gopala. Nagarulala Jaya Jaya Shakti Gulala. Shakti Gulala Jaya Jaya Mola Gopala. Appearance Day ki jai. One Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who's given us a super kirtana, and so many super kirtanas.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
Hari 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 Bol.
So, I think Mahaprabhu's finished eating. In Navadip, we would say we know when Krishna's eating because it has a bell on his chin and you can hear it tinkling. It's the pujari really, but we are saying, oh, Krishna's eating now. We can hear him eating with a bell on his chin.
Oh, I never heard that before.
So, I'm going to stand up, dear ladies and gentlemen, because I need to go if I can. So, yes, Jai, noon program for Baladev's Appearance Day ki Jai.
Jai.
I believe noon arati now also ki Jai.
Jai.
And Jai ki Lekha Devidasi for giving us sweet, sweet, entertaining, lively, happy Leela of Balaram. Some looking, and there are more things we can say, and later on maybe, but there are more things to say. The list of Balaram Leela, and I'm sure Sri Lekha has the Leela. And if you don't know about Sri Lekha, she also written many plays. She's a director. She has a chair with director on the back. And maybe not. But anyway, director of many plays. For young and for old and for young and less young. Okay, young and less young. And for all sorts of things. And so, very happy to hear from her. Nitai Gaur.
Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. We forgot about this.
Krishna, 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 Krishna.
Question for my notes. I got a whole. You said that Romaharshana Sutta. Srila Guru Maharaj said that he can vomit the scriptures, or was that about Sutta?
I mean, it's probably not the most public thing to say. I should have probably have said it like that. He was a Shrutidar. That's the nicer way to say it. But he wasn't.
Where's Jagannath Vallabha Prabhu? We heard you volunteer.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhattacharya Shri Advaita Oh
Ki
Govinda. Are those real flowers? Are we allowed to ask?
Yeah, I think they are.